Merrill Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
So looking at this press release about the rezoning of land in Dubbo, can you give us, to start off with, just a bit of an idea as to what this project is about?
Certainly. This is an interesting concept where we're seeing developers want to be able to develop land in different ways in Dubbo at the moment. One of the great things about the residential landscape in Dubbo is that we've got lots of people who want to move to Dubbo, which is very exciting news, but we don't have enough housing for all those people to move into. So developers in Dubbo in particular are looking at different ways they can do developments. Now, this particular developer has a parcel of 23 hectares of land, and it was zoned R2, which is low density residential land. And they were interested in doing something a bit different with that land. So they put an application in to rezone that to R1, which is general residential. Now, the main difference there is that the minimum lot size with the old zoning was 600 square metres per lot, but the new zoning allows you to go down to 300 square metres. So what that does across that 23 hectares of land is allows approximately 100 additional houses to be created. Not to say that the developer will necessarily create 100 additional houses, but they've got that ability. And most developers are looking now, with the developments they're doing, to have a variety of housing stock. So there might be some blocks in this development that might go down as low as 300 square metres. They might have some still at the old 600 square metres. They might have some larger ones. They might have some dual occupancy blocks, maybe some small apartments. But ultimately what you want is that variety of housing stock, more housing so that you've got people with the ability to move into different types of housing, but also for Dubbo to accommodate more housing. There's a fair few steps to go with this one yet. The first step was for council to support the rezoning. Council voted on that at our last council meeting, and so that's gone to that step. It now goes to the Department of Planning and Environment with the New South Wales Government. So with the endorsement of council, that'll go there, and then that will be viewed by the department. And if they then get to the point where they support it, there'll be a gateway determination, which will go through after that. Then that'll go on public exhibition. Following all that, another report will come back to council for further consideration. So there's a fair few steps to go. Even if the zoning or the rezoning is successful, it still then relies on the developer to submit a development application for the types of lot sizes and for the final look of that overall development.
You say there are quite a lot of next steps here. Do you have any kind of estimated timing as to when we could expect something like this, if it were to be successful through all these steps, to start building?
It is a great question because some of these rezoning applications can take many years. I don't expect this one to be a particularly complicated rezoning process. So if it's all successful, and I'm not saying it's a done deal yet, there are still steps to go through, but if this is all successful, I've seen this type of rezoning go through in less than a year, maybe as short as maybe 9 months even. So it's still some time away before we'll see houses built there. But one of the important things is that we as a community need to be planning for the long-term future of Dubbo, and more housing stock is an important part of that.
And what would you say people are needing at the moment? You're saying obviously have quite a range between 600 square metres and 300 square metres, but what is the type of housing that is most needed in Dubbo? What kind of size would we be looking at?
Well, the incredible thing that we've seen in Dubbo over the last few years is a rise that is an unprecedented rise in the median house price in Dubbo. 1 year, in the last couple of years, we saw a 25% increase in the median house price. What that's done is really put a tough edge on affordability for housing in Dubbo. It's making it very difficult for people. So when people move from other areas, one of the reasons they sometimes move to a regional location like Dubbo is because you've got more affordable housing. You might move out of Sydney, where the median house price is well over $1 million, and move to somewhere like Dubbo. Wasn't that long ago the median house price was in the 300,000s, but now it's over 500,000. So it's making that affordability landscape just that little bit tougher. So sometimes smaller housing, smaller block sizes, that slightly more affordable housing, that's probably an important part of it. But the real question, or the real answer to your question, is diversity. We need some blocks that are 300 square metres. We need some houses that are very small on those. Some people like their larger block sizes. Some people like their larger houses still. Some people like the idea of apartment living. they don't want to mow the lawn anymore. They don't want to look after a garden. So having that apartment or dual occupancy living where you might have only a small garden shared between a couple of people. So all of those things are the different options. It just feels like Dubbo as a city is growing up into a big modern city, which means you've got this complete variety of different types of housing.
Yeah. To be honest, I think I have everything that I need now. Thank you so much for your time, Matthew.
Mero Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.